Day is brought to you by Barton Community College. Explore your future and get started now. Visit gobarton.com.
Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
Stop the formation, pass out in the be all picked off. Cale Kern reaches high up, makes the catch. He's inside the 30 after the 31-yard line, and another turnover by the Newton Railers.
It's kind of a weird night, you know. I thought our kids did all the right things as far as winning this thing, but you know, when you play a game like that, you're just kind of want to get through that thing.
Just intense, and you know every play matters, and that's the thing about playoff football that makes it a lot of fun is you just can't let your guard down. I mean, it's constant, and every play you've got to play with as much effort as you possibly can.
Those kids care. Those kids want to win. Those kids play their tail off. Nobody's going to say that we don't play hard. We play harder than heck, but we're not playing good fundamentals and techniques.
He's going to help immensely with this offense, and it may not just be with targets, it may not be with touches, but with defensive coordinators having to be aware of where he's at. Travis Kelce certainly benefited from that.
Snap by Ferguson, hold by Martin, kick by Bass is long enough, and it is good! Bob's away for Tyler Bass!
We had trouble possessing it the way we needed to offensively, and it kind of fell into, you know, I mentioned at the start of the week, some of the numbers can be a little misleading.
The girls looked defeated, but obviously we had to come back together, and we wanted to still finish our season on a high note and get the best place that we could. So yeah, it's really exciting to still finish with a third place finish.
And good afternoon. Welcome to Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM, the talk of the town. Welcome into the Monday show. Steve Webster with you. Mike Corson is in. It's Monday. Sean Bear is in. Mike Hesher has been in. And Landon Winkler running the stream. Hello, boys. Happy Monday to y'all.
Did he call me a has-been?
Absolutely.
Okay, I just want to make sure of that.
No, you have been in.
Oh, okay, all right.
Check your
so sensitive.
hearing aid over there.
So sensitive this morning. I didn't wear mine.
Oh, okay.
I just got them, and now I can't remember I'm supposed to wear them. Although I did have it last night. It's something to look forward to. When you get hearing aids, they've got this thing you can put it on your phone. So when the family's in the other room, you can just lay your phone down. They don't know you're there. You can sit in the back room and listen to them talk about you.
I'm having a tough time adjusting to that cold air down the back of the neck, and you got to make a mad dash to Tinkle Tinkle Little Star.
Okay, so yeah, all right. So I'm hearing aidless today. Why you want to point that out, Hesh? You're just as old as I am. On the show,
but I don't have a hearing aid.
You need one.
I need one.
But on the show today, well, he's here. Great Bend Panther color analyst Sean Bear. We'll look forward to Friday's game with Hayes after he was watching some volleyball this weekend, so we'll get back to the broadcast booth as the Indians come calling again on Friday night, round 2 at Memorial Stadium. Great Bend Tribune sports editor Jim Mazunas will talk postseason football and recap state volleyball, cross country, and I bet he doesn't have a K-State pullover on today. Just saying. Mike Corson goes on the prowl. Oh, sorry, Landon. Gosh, darn it. Mike Corson goes on the prowl with a little tongue twister there at the end with Panther cross-country coach Lyles Lashley. Plenty of weekend sports headlines to talk about and the sounds of the weekend. We'll get started with that right now. The call Friday on B1043 The Point, Mike Hesher with the call. Cale Kern gets the first of what would be 2 interceptions.
Correct, yes.
This was in the first quarter. We weren't expecting that much of a game. It wasn't. Panthers led 35-0 after the first quarter. They win it 49-7. Head coach Aaron Beck happy with how his team handled the game, and it just get the thing over. No one gets hurt. Running clock in the second half. You take care of business. Offensively, Dax Minton, 3 touchdown passes, 2 to Cooper Omott. Great Bend hosts Hayes Friday night in the regionals. The Indians 31-0 winners over Andover. So here we go, round 2.
Yes.
The Indians and the Panthers.
And if my information is correct, they've never met twice in the same year.
You've got all these tidbits. Just go ahead.
Okay, you want me to go over
Yeah,
them?
just set the matchup. We're going to
All
talk about
right.
it all week.
Okay, and I've been told that I'm not the first person to come up with this,
What
but
do you mean I've been told? So why do
Sean-
you throw that out? Because you're already saying right away that you're saying this stuff may be wrong.
I'm his Kellerman. I'm his Joe Buck. He's my Troy Aikman.
Yes.
No, wait, vice versa.
vice versa, yeah.
No,
okay.
I really don't like those guys. In fact,
don't
Monday Night
either.
Football tonight is coming up. Don't say that.
Okay. 79th meeting between these two schools on the gridiron, and Hayes has won 39, Great Bend has won 38, and there's been one tie. So there you go on that one. As I mentioned, this will be the first playoff meeting. They've never met twice. But there are some records missing from 1940 to 1943. Obviously, the Warriors years, and then 47 and 48 were not available as well. So here we go.
So you brought incomplete data.
I brought as much correct data as I could.
Did you say they probably haven't played twice in one season? Because you don't know.
Well, this is true. I don't know the records. Thank you.
Name, rank, and serial number. You're on the spotlight.
That's okay.
So,
I got broad shoulders.
Sean and Hesh will break that game down coming up in our next segment. Zach Baird, playoff football. The difference between regular season and playoff football.
You lose, you go home.
Yes, you lose and you go home.
Intensity.
Every play matters. Cardinals beat Ellsworth Friday night 28-15, so they will host a regional game at Elton Brown Field on Friday. They'll take on the Haven Wildcats, who defeated Cimarron 38-7. They are 8-1 on the season, only loss coming to Garden Plain. So, yeah, we've got playoffs starting on Friday night.
You know, you give Baird long enough. We were all worried about the Cardinals when they lost some of their key players at the start of the season. You give Baird long enough, he's going to figure out what his personnel can and can't do, and he's going to have them ready to go by the end of the year.
So, imagine being Garden Plains coach. People are like, "Oh, coach, looks like a good win for you next Friday at Hoisington. Look at that, 3-4, whatever they are, 4-4." And that coach is like, "Have you ever looked at Hoisington's history?
Under Zach Baird, yes.
Not a team you're going to take it lightly."
And it's weird because, okay, Haven comes in at 8-1, and you talk about looking at a team's football history. Haven is not that good. I mean, they made a nice run, about 3 or 4 years ago. And now as you got Hoiston, who's got all the tradition, in recent years especially.
When you get regular season playoff, throw everything out the window. You know, it's all different. It's a different mentality amongst the players. It's a different mentality amongst the fans. Throw everything out the window. They're you know, the cliche, they're 0-0, and all they're 1-0, but throw it all out. It's just going to come down to who's going to go out there and wants it more.
And the difference is, it's playoff football is when the lights are on before practice is over.
True that.
That's a good sign.
Yes, it is.
When you're ending practice and the lights are on, that means you're making a pretty deep run into the playoffs. Hey, how about the WAC this year? They still have 4 teams left alive. Dodge City beating Garden City 34-7, so they eliminated one. Dodge City's earned my respect a little bit more. Bishop Carroll loses to Liberal 17. I don't know about Liberal. They can be great, and then, I figured they just boat race Bishop Carroll, but it didn't happen. 17-6, so that's pretty cool. 4 WAC teams still open in the playoffs.
You run the ball, good things can happen.
Clay
There's a freshman quarterback out there, so it'll be interesting to watch the next 3 years.
Clay Center beats Pratt 40. He may transfer to Ulysses. You never know. Clay Center beat Pratt 47-46. I thought Pratt would win that game. Heston over Goodland 43-34. Southeast of Saline 76. Larned 12. Halstead. Lakin, they were talking smad that Halstead it was like a bulldozer pushing trees down. It was a slow process, but you knew the trees were not going to win. 36-6. Lakin's got a nice football field, by the way. You've probably been out there. Anyway, that's all.
Yeah, I did it on the top of a scissor lift. I recall that. With the wind blowing. It was not comfortable.
You can see well.
We can see, yes, but it was not comfortable.
You did a game from a scissor lift?
I think that was in Lakin where we were on a scissor lift, yes.
You had to watch what you said. They wouldn't let the scissor lift down after the game. You just have to stay up there all night. Sterling beating TMP 48-6.
Casey had to use the restroom. You got to have some kind
go.
of hand signs or something.
Okay, so your matchup's Great Bend against Hayes. Liberal will play at Hutchinson. Toss-up game? I don't know. Probably Hutchinson would be the favorite, I guess. The winner of that game gets the winner of Great Bend and Hayes. We go to 8-man, Division I, West Elk, 9-0. You ever been through Howard?
I haven't even been through William.
Oh, it's Howard on the map has a dotted red line.
You know why it's
Because
West Elk?
well, yeah, because it's a scenic route.
Elk County. Who knew? The Patriots.
And they're 9-0. They host Little River 7-2. Chase County will host Central Plains on Friday night. So the Oilers go on the road on the east side of the bracket. Victoria's home against Wallace County, Hodgman at Buckland, and Otis Bison will play Meridocene Valley, 6 o'clock in Meridocene, or wherever it's located. Otis Bison fans will find it. Remember, it's a 6 o'clock start. Pawnee Heights, 6-man playoff West. They play at Golden Plains. Okay, Chris Kleiman. Knows that playing hard isn't enough in the Big 12. Shocking loss. Again, the dumpster, man. People are buying TVs. They're buying cars.
Community connected.
Wow, K-State falls to 7-2, and it didn't hurt them. Really? I mean, it depends on what Colorado does, because Iowa State ended up losing 2, so the scenario really doesn't change there that much.
Here's where you can really
But they've got to run the table now and win at Ames.
KU plays BYU and Iowa State.
Correct, next Saturday.
Pick off one of them. Yeah, let K-State do its job. But, yeah, about halfway through that game, I'm like, you know what? For every point spread now, I'm just going to do 2.5 points. They're going to maybe win games, but it's going to be close. And then they broke my heart, as they do. They've done for 30-some years.
You broke the bank as
But
well.
I'm glad they played hard, Coach. The other team wasn't.
Yeah, how about how do you lose to Texas Tech at home? That's what Iowa State did, 23-22. So your standings in the Big 12, BYU 4-0. Then you have Iowa State, Colorado 4-1, and K-State and Texas Tech suddenly 4-2.
I'll be jumping on the Hunter bandwagon.
The Big 12 just isn't very good. And I don't think the Big 10 is, but they've got more name brand.
Hoopla.
Yeah, I mean, you throw Oregon in there, that's pretty good. Ohio State, who barely beat Nebraska the week before. Oh, Penn State. Holy cow. 20-13. So Ohio State number 4, Penn State number 3. And Ohio State, I love it. K-State's backup quarterback is starting for Ohio State.
Bitter by. Who'll bitter by?
Yeah, he makes some mistakes. It's not all Will Howard up there. They're kind of covering up.
Calm down. Minnesota beat 24th ranked Illinois 25-17. Louisville over 11th ranked Clemson 33-21. These are the upsets. South Carolina, everybody's talking about, well, Texas A&M, they're creeping in there. They get beat 44-20 by South Carolina. Can't wait for the playoffs. It's going to be fun.
Team to watch out is Miami.
Thanks.
When they flip a switch, that offense goes crazy.
Stud quarterback.
Yeah.
All right, Tim Grunhard talking about DeAndre Hopkins. We'll see him more probably a prominent role tonight, unless it's just storming at Arrowhead Stadium. Thinks he'll help. He had 2 catches for 29 yards. Chiefs and Buccaneers tonight, 7:15. Coverage on B104.3. The point starts at 6. The Buffalo Bills get a 61-yard field goal and get a big win yesterday. They're 7-2 now, so the Chiefs are 7-0. And 7-2 is the second best record in the AFC right now. Sean Payton talking about the offense has to stay more multidimensional. I thought the Broncos hung in there early in the game, but they could not stop the Baltimore Ravens, who had been beaten by the Cleveland Browns the week before.
They were angry.
I guess, 41-10. So now it's going to be Denver against the Chiefs next Sunday night. Now, we always have family dinner at our house, okay? On Sundays. It's just part of the deal. It's like, it's kind of cool. Everybody comes over. It has already been canceled. Because one son-in-law is a big Broncos fan, and we've got the election Tuesday. We just thought might just be a good time to take a break from everybody, okay? So no Sunday dinner at our house. You gonna invite me over, Hesh?
Oh, you can happy to come on over.
Really? What
yeah.
What are you going to have?
Well, whatever I ordered yesterday in my food basket. Leftover hot dogs.
You're too young to get Meals on Wheels.
I have to cook these meals myself.
Okay,
It's just delivered to my house. Because I don't like to shop. That's what I figured out.
And okay, very good. I don't need to defend it. It's fine. So Broncos 5-4. So again, playing the Chiefs. Let's see, Dallas.
Oh.
Dak Prescott pulled a hamstring, 27-21. Go yell down. Said, "How about them Cowboys? See how long it's going to take for Stacy to come in here and just whop you on top of the head, Hesh."
I need to stay on her good side.
Cincinnati beat Vegas 41-24. Chargers 27-10 over Cleveland. And watch out for Detroit. They look pretty good. I like their coach, 24-21. All right, volleyball over the weekend. Head coach Michaela Riedel from Hoisington, proud of the way her team bounced back. So they do bring home a third-place trophy from Class 3A and 2A. Ellenwood Eagles made it to Saturday's semifinals. They had to settle for a fourth-place finish. And we did have a good call. I'll pull it up, and we'll bring it back in the next break, okay? It's a bump.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe I saved it wrong.
Yep.
You were burning the midnight oil. I saw you in two different towns within 12 hours.
I just go for the food. Yeah, but Great Bend goes 0-3 in Salina. You got to remember, three of the four semifinals were private schools. Blue Valley Southwest looked exceptional. Didn't make the semifinals either. So I don't think Great Bend didn't play well. It's ridiculously.
Connor Nickel talked about this. I mean, really all year. He said 5A is just so stacked with those teams on the east side, and it's just hard. I mean, he couldn't remember the last time a WAC school made it to the semifinals.
And we took two of the teams to 3 games. I think initially we came out and the lights were pretty bright. The moment was pretty big, and we had some young players out there. It took them a while to adjust, but I think you watched the first game in comparison with the third game. Looked like a different team. I mean, we really grew up throughout those 3 days. I'll let Shelley talk all about it on Wednesday, but from a dad and a parent perspective, hey, I was proud of them. Yeah, 0-3 at the state tournament, but I was proud of them. Those kids all fought and they did their thing. So,
and volleyball, we had 2 other teams. Otis Bison went to 1A2, and St. John competed as well. So good year for area volleyball for sure.
Ellenwood mows everybody down. Inman mows everybody down. Friday in 2A, so it's like, okay, 1-2 going to be the finals on Saturday. Both of them got beat in the semis, matched up in the consolation game. Inman took it. Then Hoisington, you're talking a couple plays, a couple points from being in the state title game, so it was a razor-thin margin between second and third. They just rolled over Neota Schaefer a second time in third-place match.
Okay, a lot of sports headlines will run too, so we need to get our football talk going here. We're going to take a break, and you recognize this noise, don't you, Hesh?
Oh, yeah. Not good noise.
We'll get that up for you.
I usually cuss after I hear that noise.
You'll have to stick around for the first segment so you can. Oh, that's all right. You got to go back over. You're having free lunch across town, right, or across the street.
I'm gonna go resave that.
Okay. Resave it. Okay, very good. Save it as an MP3. Yeah.
Not 4.
You got to save it. Well, anyway. All right. Well, I'm going to see if he's learned. Okay. Sports Day coming up. Hesh and Sean right after this.
Hey, high school seniors, ready to figure out what's next? Barton Community College's Senior Day is the place to be on November 20th. Whether your dream starts with tackling your gen eds and transferring to a university, or you want to dive straight into a technical program that can land you a job in as little as 1 semester, Barton has you covered. Did we mention that there's $6,000 in scholarships up for grabs? Sign up before November 4th at seniorday.bartonccc.edu. Your future's waiting. Discover it at Senior Day.
Pulling acres ahead of the competition is simple. Cenex Maxtron synthetic diesel engine oils give you the smartest oil for the toughest conditions. These premium oils are formulated with EnduroVis technology and a balanced additive package to control deposits for a cleaner, more efficient engine that gives you proven durability. Cenex Maxtron diesel engine oils. Oil that runs smart.
Contact American Plains Co-op Fuel Department in Great Bend, your certified Cenex distributor.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people. So I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
It's Sports Day on 1590 KBGB and 95.5 FM. Presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
Good afternoon. Welcome back into Sports Day. I'm Mike Hesher, and now standing in for Steve Webster. Sports Day brought to you by Equity Bank, adding value for our customers and communities. Equity Bank in Great Bend, Hoisington, and Larned. See the locations tab at equitybank.com for more locations. And also, Sports Day brought to you by Great Bend Rec. Great Bend Recreation Commission dedicated to improving our community and the lives of its individuals. Joined now by color analyst of Great Bend High School and a Hall of Famer at Fort Hays State, Sean Bear. Sean, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. It's wet outside. It feels like fall. Finally, it feels like fall.
Which could be a problem for Friday night.
Well,
because there's supposed to be rain on Friday night.
This is true, but you know what they always say? Playoff football is a lot of times determinant upon how well you run the football.
Correct.
So we could see some, what do you want to call them, iron horses going to work against each other.
Okay. Going back, I know you weren't there on Friday. You didn't miss a lot because Great Bend just kind of rolled over Newton, and they were just outsized. I mean, their offensive line had one person at 200 pounds. And Great Bend took care of things early, got some turnovers, and it was pretty much over.
Well, and it sounded like Nate Dogg did a good job of filling in for me, so I'm glad he took care of you and kept you on the straight and narrow. But, yeah, you know, you kind of worry about those kind of games, especially in the first round of bracket playoff, however you want to put it. But, you know, you got to work on things. You got to stay healthy. You don't want to show too much, but yet you don't want to forget the good things you do. So a game like that is a little tough to go in, especially right before you get your in-conference rivals, in-state, huge rivals, coming down for another rematch from just 3 weeks ago.
It was week 7, yeah.
Yeah.
So it would have been 3 weeks ago. The best thing, Aaron Beck basically said, no injuries, and the running clock was huge.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And apparently, if it was cold, you probably had to use the restroom, so that running clock was
would you quit going down that path? You know, because I get in trouble going down paths all the time. You're not helping me stay out of those paths.
I gotcha.
All right, okay. So Great Bend and Hays, second time this year. By my information, this will be the first time that's ever happened to play a second game in the same year. How does that change things?
It really doesn't change things. What you're going to see is you're going to see more of the brainworks of football. And when I refer to brainworks, I mean it's going to be the coaching staff.
It's going to be more of a chess match is what I...
Absolutely.
Okay.
Who can give the other team a different look? Who can do the same thing but give it out of a different look? You know, potentially maybe a blocking scheme. You have one of your favorite plays. Maybe you block it a little bit differently because, again, especially with a week like last week, I'm sure Great Bend's coaching staff, Jeff Lutt, probably was already watching film of that first Hays game, thinking that they were going to beat Andover, and there was the biggest likelihood that we were going to be playing Hays. So, you know, there's a lot of film study that goes on, and it's going to come down to who can change it up just a little bit to throw in a wrinkle that the other team wasn't expecting.
Okay, this is a strange question, which is usual coming from me. So basically, Great Bend has not had to play a half. The starters have played a half the last 2 games. Is that going to give them some rest that they need, or is that just crazy thinking on my part?
No, you're 100% right, because late in the season, that's the other thing. How are you physically? You know, that ailing knee injury from week 3, has it had time to heal? You know, if you're a quarterback, maybe I got a little stinger in the shoulder. You know, hey, it was kind of nice last week, and although he did throw it a lot, but you know, Minton got a little bit of a rest, you know, as far as that goes. So no, it absolutely does, because again, you get to go against another opponent. So it's not like scout team that's seeing your same stuff all year long. You get to go against another opponent, but yet you get to heal for a half because, you get to program build. If you're a coach, you're building for the future because you're getting scout teamers in on Friday night under the lights.
In a playoff game.
In a playoff
game. Week 9 bracket.
In a Week 9 bracketed game. Or playoffs.
So, and the other thing, I did talk to Dustin Arbor. We kind of exchanged emails this morning. He's the play-by-play voice of Hayes High, and he did indicate, and I don't have it in front of me, but he said they do have some injuries that they're having to take on now.
Well, and that's the big thing. 9 weeks. 9 weeks. That's why they have a bye week in the NFL. They give people a little bit of time to heal up, and of course, the team with the bye week later in the season is always probably at a better advantage. But that's the thing is. And I've been around Armbruster enough, you got to take it with a little bit of a grain of salt. Is he throwing something out there?
Is he teasing me?
Is he teasing? Is he teasing? Because that's why they have an injury report in the NFL.
Right.
And some guys are questionable. Are they really questionable? Or are you just trying to give us something else to think about? So I'm sure that wouldn't go on between Great Bend and Hayes.
No,
not even in the radio boxes. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. From what I know, we are we sound like we're healthy. And again, like you said, we've had the ability this late in the season. Your wind should be good. You should be well conditioned. Shouldn't really have to worry about the cramping as we did early in the season. It's going to be a little bit of a cooler night. That'll be an adjustment. And again, if the conditions are wet. Probably going to have to do a better job of holding on to the football and ball security is going to be epic.
Great Bend won the first game by a score of 21-0. Hayes kind of hurt themselves on multiple occasions. And also, you got to give credit to the Great Bend defense because they did stop Hayes twice inside the 10-yard line.
And hats off to Coach Lutt and his defensive coaching staff, and obviously the players on defense because that's a pretty good offense over that Hayes has got, and they are built to run you through a meat grinder. They've got big offensive linemen. They've got good skill positions, speed at the skill positions, and of course Tony Crow. It's not his first
rodeo.
The guy knows what he's doing. So for us to shut them down is huge. But also Great Bend's always been all season longs has been known for the big play. And if you remember right, we had a low line drive kick into the wind that Omok took back to around the 15, 20-yard line, which led to a score. We had Premer, who just became a man-child on that one play and broke, I'll guarantee you, 7 tackles and probably, 75 yards?
Let's see. I have it right in front of me, and I can't understand my own writing. So
well, that happens. And then Minton, of course. Minton broke a 63-yarder.
That is correct.
And so, 3 big plays. You take those out, it could be a 0-0 ball game or a 7-0 ball game. So you want to talk about playoff football this Friday night. It's going to be everything it's billed out to be.
Now that I figured out Premer had a 49-yard touchdown run. I don't know what the final, that's what I wrote down. I didn't check the official.
It could have been a 75-yard drive because I keep the drive chart.
Oh, no. The drive chart was 80. I got 6 plays, 80 yards a minute 27.
75, 80. Give or take 5.
I missed that on Friday night. Well, let me tell you, because, love Nate, but, he didn't do some stats like you did. So that was
and that's
it takes time.
And defensive Nate filled in. Nate did a good job, and, that's a tough seat to fill, that one sitting right next to you, because, there's just so much nervousness, and when you tell us, don't talk over me.
Yes, that is one rule.
That is the rule.
That is the play-by-play person, not specifically me. Okay?
Exactly.
Right. So, Hayes Great Bend, how much does the intensity rise for a playoff game between these two rivals?
Well, we had talked about making sure you could find a trash can in case you had to determine that what you ate for lunch was not going to sit well, to put it nicely. And it's the same way. You might have 2 trash cans out there because there's going to be jitters. I hope we don't have a weather delay or anything like we had in week 2 or 3, whatever that was. You just want to go out and do it. And, these guys are going to be ready Wednesday. And that's the other thing is trying to keep everybody from not peaking early. You don't want to get too jacked up, and you got to wait till Friday. 7 o'clock underneath the lights at Memorial Stadium, and then at that point you just take the lid off and pour it all over the field.
goes for broadcasters as well, doesn't it?
I'm jacked up.
I got to keep my cool until Friday.
You know, I hit up my boss as she was lecturing me on some other things at the house, but I hit up my boss about, potentially getting off early on Wednesday so I could go watch practice.
Right.
And I want to come out and hang out with you.
Sure.
So, it's one of those, I want to kind of delve myself into it, and just this week is huge. Of course, the next 3 weeks are huge.
Correct.
And we're going to, we were talking about, I wonder what the weather's going to be like in Emporia, and it's a late night start. So, darn, wouldn't that just be horrible to have to live through that if we were, when we get there?
There is if people did not know, they've changed the start times, and they've moved 3 games to Emporia. It's 6A plays on Friday, 5 and 4A play on Saturday. The 4A game is first, and the 3A and the 5A game will be the 7 o'clock start.
We got to get into a primetime television slot.
Is that what it is?
That's what it is, because these days everything's televised. You can go and find it anywhere. So, not a bad deal. I like it.
Sean Bear, I appreciate your efforts here today, and we will talk to you. This was the first Wednesday I missed. This last Wednesday I missed, and I was so worried, man. If Great Bend loses, I'm going to be in big trouble.
Well,
but we had a meeting, and I could not make it. So
things happen.
Yep.
Make it this Wednesday.
I will make it this Wednesday, no question.
And we'll go out and have a great call on Friday.
It's we sure will. All right, thank you, Sean Bear.
Absolutely, love being here.
Okay, we will be back with more Sports Day. Steve Webster will rejoin us, and he will talk to Jim Mazunas when we come back. This is Sports Day on 1590 95.5 FM.
From the Mail Money Management Studios, 1590 KVGB, Great Bend, and 95.5 FM K238CK, Hoisington.
Hey everyone, this is Cole Wright, voice of the Barton Cougars. Attending sporting events for Barton Community College is great, but did you know you can support the athletic teams even further by getting involved with the Cougar Booster Club? The Boosters help with fundraising for equipment and facility upgrades to give Barton athletes every opportunity to keep succeeding at the regional and national levels. Join the Cougar Booster Club as an individual or business. Call 620-792-9377. Become a booster today. Go Cougars.
If you're needing a healthcare plan for your business, let the experienced and dedicated staff at Freedom Claims Management Incorporated customize a health insurance plan that fits your business's need. Regardless if you're a large corporation or a small business on Main Street, Freedom Claims Management Incorporated can help you provide your employees with great health coverage at an affordable cost. Visit freedomclaimsinc.com where you can schedule a free, no-obligation health assessment today. Freedom Claims Management Incorporated in Great Bend.
He's passionate about his high school sports and his trendy sports apparel. Sports Day presents the Great Bend Tribune's Jim Mazunas.
The girls look defeated, but obviously...
They get the point! Are you kidding me? One of the plays of the game! Probably one of the plays of the tournament! Matt Maxwell, the freshman and the coach's daughter, sticks the right foot up in the air and keeps the play alive!
Call off the NFHS network. Nice play made by the freshman. Unbelievable play. The play of the tournament. Freshman Matt Maxwell. Welcome back to the show today. That was one we wanted to play in the open, but the sound car anyway. Jim Mazunas joins us right now. Okay. I just wanted to see what you're going to wear in today. So it's
no,
not
the Bears gear. The Bears gear is done for the year. They're done.
Okay, it's not a Power Cat. It's a John Deere shirt.
We're going with agriculture. Agriculture is our friend.
Already looking ahead to Farmageddon.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, so K-State loses, and then it looks like, wow, they're in trouble now. And then Texas Tech comes and wins, and then Colorado. So how do you look at this Big 12 race right now as we go down the stretch, two teams just trying to get in to the Big 12 championship game, which is probably going to be one team from the Big 12 that's going to have a chance to play in the 12-team playoff format?
Well, I still believe BYU, if they go 12-1, I still believe BYU will have as good a resume as anybody. But outside of that, now you're talking about teams with multiple losses, probably. So, but the Big 12 is pretty much exactly what they thought it would be. It'd be a very competitive race, maybe not having a top 5 team, perhaps, but very competitive league. And, again, K-State and Kansas, they got the bad end of things, in that each of those teams play the top four of the 5 teams in the league. So to say that BYU or Iowa State have an equally challenging schedule, that's not true at all. Because you look at the standings, they both play BYU, they both play Iowa State, they play each other, they play Colorado. So those are the top 4 teams, and honestly, Kansas is not, they're not a bottom dweller. I mean, if they had just not so bad misfortune the last 2 minutes of the game and the last 2 minutes of the half, they'd probably be 7-1 or 6-2 right now.
Do you see these championship games going away? Because really, you get in a situation now where teams are going to be better off by not having to play an additional game.
That happened numerous times to the Big 12. K-State rightfully should have been playing for the national championship in 1998, but they had a
correct. That was the best team K-State's ever had.
It was the best team that K-State ever had, and you know, I think I counted up. I watched the replay several times. I think they had 11 plays where 11 plays go different. K-State wins that game. That's how. I mean, A&M, of course, doesn't even score the last touchdown. The guy's out of bounds. Sir Parker's out of bounds at the 3-yard line, but they didn't have replay then. So, you know, and literally, Bill Snyder, I would say he's made maybe 1-2 mistakes in his life. 4th and 1, they should have gone for the touchdown and gone for the win. Instead, he kicked a tying field goal. Huge mistake. They would have never stopped Bishop. Bishop had a first down, and he ran into the fullback on 3rd down. But A&M had never stopped that option play the whole game. But anyway, that's
okay. So
26 years ago.
I'm sorry, Jim. I brought that. I didn't mean to bring that up, because that's like bringing up the '85 World Series with me. Okay.
Oh yeah,
so,
there's no doubt about it.
But you know, Notre Dame, they don't have to play an extra game. All these teams are going to be sitting on the sideline. They don't have to go out there. So, do you think they'll get rid of the championship games? Of course not, because that's going to be an additional flow of revenue, right? You got to pay your players, but
well, yeah,
I love the expanded format. 12 teams about as far as you can go, I think, but you've got to take that loophole out somehow. I don't know how you.
Well, the first thing they should do is make the SEC play 9 conference games. It's a joke. Guess what? The conference that has 16 teams in it, they have 8 more losses. Well, now, Tennessee's only got 1 loss. Georgia's, well, the reason why they only have 1 loss is they play 1 less league game. So it's a very unequal schedule. I mean, again, the SEC would have 8 more losses. You know, simply put.
Absolutely.
It's just a joke. And, of course,
but they're not. They're going to go off and make their own league with the Big Ten. Then there's going to be, what are the other teams going to do?
Yeah,
it's college football. We're enjoying it right now, but it's just going to continue to get this way, and I think people are going to lose interest after a while, because you only have so much of the country. Is it just going to be the Rust Belt states that watch football? Well, I guess now we've got the Pac-12, whatever's
the Pac-2.
Yeah, the Pac-2. You've got Stanford playing the AC.
It is. College football and the conglomeration of conferences is really not been good for college sports at all.
All right. Well, good discussion, because I know you were watching that, and you always wonder, because K-State they had a lightning delay, you know, and then you think, well, why do they do that? That's silly. They just played, and then you have that soccer match down in South America. A player is killed
by lightning. Yeah,
by lightning. So that you remember, that's why they do it. But.
Yeah, that is.
Okay, thoughts on volleyball over the weekend?
Well, it's amazing how Hoisington is 1 point away from playing Halstead for the state championship. 1 point away, and it's just excruciating. And yet those girls bounce back, come back, and have joy in their hearts. And credit to Coach Riedel from Hoisington getting those girls ready to go and winning their final match of the season. You know, they lose a good crop of seniors, Gabby Reif, Ellie Crawford, and Presley Brungart. So they lose their top defensive player and their top setter. But Hoisington is well primed to be very, very good in the upcoming years. So they're good to go. The ironic thing is Coach Riedel had played on the 2011 team that played for the state championship, and they also lost to a league rival, Hillsborough, in the state championship. So it would have been a replay of 2011 where you're playing a league team for the 3rd time had they played Halstead. But tremendous effort. Man, that volleyball is just amazing level, both 3A, really every class. I mean, I watched 3A, 5A, 2A, 1A. The level of volleyball that is played is amazing. Sophia Simic, she has 32 winners in the semifinal match. 32 times. Hoisington scored 65 points, I think. 32 of them were Simic ended the point. Simic ended the point. It's just amazing. What an outstanding player. And then in Ellenwood's case, man, they, again, tremendous competition. The teams that both went 3-0 in pool, Inman and Ellenwood both lose in the semis, which is just hard to understand how that can happen. But it just shows you it's just a fine line between how good it is to get to the championship and just barely miss out. So, and again, Ellenwood loses one player, Kennedy Banky. Inman loses one player, too. So, number 1, number 2 will be number 1 and 2 next year, too. Inman and Ellenwood will be right at the top of 2A rankings again. So,
and
yeah, tremendous.
So tough.
Oh, 5A. I mean, the level of volleyball. I mean, I don't know what constitutes a Division I player, but the Inman girl is committed to Utah, and she's a junior. I'll tell you what, Simic is better than her. And the level of play that Great Bend faced was just unbelievable. I mean, it's just like, where do they find these players? But I have a granddaughter who plays volleyball year-round, and I know those girls, they really work on that craft. They really work at it. They love the game, and yeah, credit to them. You're seeing a lot of Kansas-born volleyball players going on to Division I level. So credit to them and all the coaches. I mean, what a year for volleyball. And so far, maybe Barton can get her done.
The Lady Cougars start their region run. They'll play at home throughout, so they get Pratt on Wednesday, and then they'll go on to the to the next round, which is going to be at Barton. So good luck. We'll talk to Megan Bessiger tomorrow. Speaking of, and I just want to throw this in because I want to see what your thought is, because I think I've argued with the third place match. Should we even have it?
Yeah, it's fine with me. I mean, I don't have really.
You're there. I mean,
yeah, no.
And it's kind of cool for the seniors to go out there knowing that this is their last match.
Yeah.
Win or lose, this is my last one that I'm ever going to play, and I think that's you played yourself into the right to have that. I think
that's right, and I believe that Hoisington had the right attitude. They had literally 5-10 minutes to try and rally from. You're that close to being in the state championship, and it just shows you the competitiveness of the girls and the spirit, the positive spirit. If you love the game, guess what? You got one more chance as a senior to play with your teammates, and that's exactly the attitude that Hoisington had. Credit to them and the girls, because I mean, there's no doubt that's got to be the toughest match you'll ever play.
Hayes High, Great Bend. We have to do it again on Friday night. You got to prove that final letter. It's like horse. Okay, prove it. Now they've got to go out again against a team that knows them very, very well.
Yeah.
This game has me nervous. I know I'm not, but if I was around it all the time, and see it around the players, you probably wouldn't get that. But as a fan, I'm just thinking, God, I just hate that. Having to play somebody again that knows you so well. Great Bend knows them so well.
Oh, yeah. It's always a great matchup. I mean, it's happened in baseball a couple of times where Hayes has had the better baseball team and Great Bend has beat them in postseason. It's happened a couple of times here in recent years. In basketball was back-to-back games. They ended the season
with that
first round
scores.
And the same score. So, yeah, there's and for the most part, I would say I've never seen anything unsportsmanlike. It's always in the best spirit of competition. You just want to beat that team. You just want to beat them. That's the team. You circle one team, that's the team you want to beat. And that's the way it goes. No, Great Bend, again, I think all Corson has to do is install Hayes as a 7-point favorite. That's all they need. So that's all they need, because Great Bend has to go into that game like with the underdog mentality, because certainly that's what Hayes will bring to the table. And that's really how you have to play is, hey, you haven't proven anything, and you got to do it again. So, but Great Bend, again, they've got big play capability, and defensively and offensively, they've gotten the job done throughout the year. So I think they'll be fine. They've got the better team. They've got the better quarterback. They've got the best receivers. And Hayes is very good on the offensive and defensive lines, but Great Bend is very competitive there too. So we'll see.
Hoiston Haven. I think that's going to be a very interesting matchup.
Yeah, Haven, they should have played in 2020. Haven had Beloit on the ropes the whole game.
And Beloit,
they lost in double overtime, and that was the best Haven team I've seen by far. But this team is equally good. Hoisington is going to have a tremendous challenge. because of the diversity of Haven's offense and their quarterback play, is going to be a tremendous challenge. It's not going to be a 13-7 game. I mean, Haven has got a tremendous offense, and I think there'll be some points scored Friday night in Hoisington. But Hoisington has the right kind of offense. They can keep the ball away from you for 6-7 minutes, too. So should be a very interesting game. But, you know, those passing teams tend to give Hoisington a little trouble from time to time, so we'll see.
All right, Jim, we've got Lyle Lashley coming up with Mike Corson here in just a moment. Anything you want to get in here before we have to move on?
Well, other than Dean Wade and the Cleveland Cavaliers are 7-0, baby, and they're tonight on NBA TV. So we'll see how that game goes. But, yeah, Dean Wade's off to a great start for the Cavaliers this year.
Jim, thank you very much. And we will have Jim back in on Monday, hopefully talking about who the Great Bend Panthers. Well, it is. It's who Great Bend's going to be playing next week. So,
that's the kind of attitude with it.
See, there you go. Okay, as long as we don't let Mikey C set the line on this one, maybe we can. Okay, Lyle Lashley coming up is going to recap state cross country with Mike Corson after this.
Hey y'all, it's Dr. Ty here at Animal Medical, and in the next couple months, we are going to pivot and talk about behavior and training. From our standpoint, we see it affect so many folks out there in the relationship with their animal and even the relationship with us as their caretakers, all affected by how those animals get started from a training process. Focus on some basics. If you have any questions, call. Large or small, we take care of them all.
When it comes to car maintenance, it's good to know a local guy that can get things done. The Eller family has been in the auto repair business in Great Bend forever. Greg Eller continues that long tradition of helping people. Eller Automotive Repair specializes in wheel alignments, oil changes, and general maintenance for all makes and models of cars and small trucks. Open 8 to 5 Monday through Thursday, 8 to 4 Fridays. Eller Automotive Repair at 915 Morton, right behind Great Bend Appliance, Furniture, and Sleep Source, 10th and Morton.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Sports Day presents On the Prowl with Mike Corson, an inside look at all the sports taking place at Great Bend High School.
Welcome back to Sports Day, 1590 KVGB 95.5 FM. That's the outfield. It must be Monday. One last time with Coach Lyle Lashley, the cross-country coach at Great Bend High School for the season. Coach, what do we think about the weekend and the season being over?
It's a great day for you. It's the last day you got to deal with me for a long time.
Like 2 months.
No, it's longer than 2 months.
It is. You're correct.
I mean, are you guys taking a break over Christmas, or do we get the show over Christmas break?
I think we will have some break, but I hope to have some time where we can have the usuals come in and feeding up the minds.
We could have like a free-for-all Friday, or what we used to call that?
I'm not sure.
What was the old Fridays we had? The free-for-all something. I don't know. You have to have
Freaky Fridays with you.
Well, yeah, it's kind of weird Fridays, but you throw Mars off in there, you never know what you're going to get.
We'll try. So I'm trying to get live results before I go to state volleyball Saturday morning. What do you know? 5A is not running yet. What were the weather conditions kind of up into and at the start of Saturday morning's race?
Well, the weather conditions before the race, when they put it delay, were absolutely wonderful. All they did, for some reason, was delay it, and for about, it ended up being delayed for 15 minutes, and then it pushed those last races into a storm. So there's no lightning around. There's nothing going on. I have no idea why it's delayed. We sat there, and luckily, Coach Stoll and I just sat in our tent, so we were able to hear that we were no longer in delay, so we were able to get our kids warming up. But I'm not quite sure why there was a delay. But there was nothing around, nothing coming, and we just pushed it back, so I guess the last race could be a storm.
We got to make it interesting. Yeah, so even probably going in Thursday, Friday, people knew it could be storming. What kind of distraction is that for maybe some kids who might be already nervous about a state run?
I don't think it's really a distraction. It's the same. You're in the same. The weather's the same for everybody in the race. It's just how the mentality before the race is how you take it. If you take it well, then you're going to do well. If not, it's not going to be a problem.
The coaches' polls moved you guys up to number 4 after regionals. 8th place finish at state. What were the expectations team-wise going in this year?
Honestly, I thought going in we'd be anywhere from 4th tonight. Going in, obviously, with the Reese going down at the mile and a half mark, that was definitely a blow for us. There's a hill called Suicide Hill right at the mile mark, and it's a complete drop-off with a right turn, and you throw in about 2-3 inches of wet leaves. It didn't make for a good situation for anybody. I know Bishop Carroll had their number 1 girl go down, didn't do a couple of loops, but when we were there for the regular meet, going down that hill, Reese actually strained her groin pretty good, and she was out pretty much until regionals. And then when she went down, she kind of slipped and actually probably strained it even worse than it was before. So she was unable to finish. So that was, your girls behind her see that capacitor. It pretty much puts a damper on your girls' attitude for the rest of the race. But I thought the girls, for that situation, competed well. With their situation, it was just one of those deals where, you lose somebody last year and you come out and, you graduate somebody last year, you come out and, have these girls. I thought they did a great job of competing all season long. And stepping up. We don't make any excuses for finishing 8th, and there's a lot of teams in the state that would love to be 8th. So it is what it was, and definitely we look to continue the momentum next year. And we hate losing Marissa and Kate, but we have some good girls coming up. We have some girls that last year run junior got some great experience. I thought Bella and Taya and even Tegan before the state meet, I think did some good stuff. And then, Reese ran cross country her first year, did an amazing job, and she was 3rd at the region meet her first year. And then, so we're excited about the future, what it holds, but definitely, wish things would come out a little bit better, but it is what it is.
Talking to Panther Cross Country Coach Lyles Lashley, boys side had just one boy, but junior Taven Stroop, 26 overall, I thought probably not bad given some of the results this year.
I thought he ran a really smart race. He ran out 26 for him. I thought it was really good. He, at the mile mark, he was in about 42nd place and kind of picked his way through the field the second half of the race. And, in the weather condition, I thought he just ran just an excellent race. It should give him some momentum for his senior year to, hopefully next year coming in and be a state medalist his senior year.
And cross country is this kind of that unique sport where a lot of these kids are going to come back in a few months and run again. How does a season like this, especially for somebody like Reese Bullard, kind of propel them into the track season this spring?
Well, I think he just gives them a nice big old base for cross country. From cross country to fill into the winter months, and hopefully they get the ones that aren't doing basketball or wrestling get a get a good winter base in and prepare for the summer, for the track season. For now, it's an even longer period. You're talking about from November, December, January, February, you're talking about 4 months before we start track, even just practice. So you throw in practice for track, it's 5 months until we run our first meet. It's way more between the state track meet and, big cross-country season. So it's just a big old time period to get a good base in and start improving on some of your weaknesses.
And finally, one more for you, just for you, Coach. 5A was one of the most anticipated fields with the state record holder, the Miller girl from Topeka Seaman. Salina Central, Caitlin Roop coming through with the finish. I wasn't there. Were you able to cheer on for me?
Yeah, I watched that race of the full pretty much. It was we're a good situation. Caitlin stayed behind me pretty much, 4 or 5 seconds the whole race, and when we went to through the bridge right before the cemetery hill, the senior girl charged up the hill the first 3 quarters pretty hard, but then you could kind of see it about 3/4 of the way up. She started to wobble just a hair, and I think Caitlin was kind of like a shark back there. It saw blood, and then just kind of got to talking to Caitlin after the race, and she said, yes, she saw it, and she got to the top of the cemetery, and she just absolutely crushed her in the last 800 meters. 17 seconds. She beat her by, I think that was just a smart race she ran. She let her go out fast, and she just kept her in contact, and then pounced on her. Argolet Cemetery Hill.
Talking to Panther cross country coach Laz Lashley. Coach, thanks for joining us all fall here. Always a pleasure to have you on. If we don't see you at Christmas, we'll definitely see you next spring.
Sounds good, Mike. Thanks for having us all season long. Thanks for what you do.
More Sports Day after this.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec.
Sports, leisure, fitness and wellness, even senior and adaptive needs. It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Pick up a program guide or stop by the rec office at 1214 Stone in Great Bend. Or check out the website, greatbendrec.com. Live, play, explore at the rec.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Live, play, explore at the rec.
Marmy Auto Group makes it happen. Central and Western Kansas. Check out our selection of new and pre-owned inventory. Marmy's friendly staff offers top quality service that you've gotten to know over the years. When your existing vehicle needs parts or service, our experienced team will get you back in the game this season. Marmy Chevrolet, GMC, Ford and Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep Ram, parts, service, and body shop. Visit Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street or marmys.net. Marmys, make it happen.
Step into the spotlight with Barton Community College's theater program. Whether you dream of performing on stage or creating magic behind the scenes, Barton offers hands-on training, expert guidance, and creative performance opportunities. With top-tier facilities and a supportive community, you'll develop the skills to shine. Turn your passion into a career and start your journey to the stage at Barton. Learn more at theater.bartonccc.edu.
In its second decade, it's Sports Day on 1590 KBGB at 95.5 FM. Presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
Welcome back. Sports Day here on this Monday. Barton Lady Cougars claim their 22nd Jayhawk title in program history, and the Plains District Tournament begins on Wednesday. And Barton is the number 1 seed. They went 15-1 in the conference, and they won it outright. Colby ended up dropping a match in the final week, finished 14-2. So Barton wins it outright, and now they'll begin their journey. They'll win on Wednesday, then they would host the Final Four at Barton Community College. Megan Besker will be in on the show tomorrow to talk about it. The soccer team, men win on a rainy Saturday as they went to penalty kicks to defeat Coffeyville 4-3. So the Cougars now have to travel to Missouri now Wednesday to take on Region 16 winner Jefferson College. The Barton Lady Cougars soccer team, they ended up having their season end at Cowley, losing 4-1. Not a good first half. Lady Cougars fell behind 3-0. They lose it by the score of 4-1. Barton women's basketball went 0-2 on their trip to Hobbs, New Mexico, taking on a couple of ranked teams. Played Odessa to a very close game, but then got blown out on Saturday, 86-38. Barton men will open play on Friday. All right, baseball news today. Let's see. I think the bigger news is Michael Wacha signing a 3-year contract with the Royals. And let's see. Oh, Seth Lugo, Gold Glove. Bobby Witt Jr., a Gold Glove. So what's bigger?
I would agree with you. I mean, because best season in years for the Royals, and they're going to basically bring back the starting rotation. And hopefully a couple of the younger people are even better.
Yeah, that would be great. All right, we'll talk to you tomorrow on Sports Day here on KVGB.